Hey, it's Joe Glines, and I'm going to be covering what I've been working on the last couple of weeks, mostly automation, but it's all AutoHotkey related as well, or most of it is. So one thing I did was I added about 30 more videos on tutorials with using AutoHotkey with Excel. So if you go to my AutoHotkey, the automator.com website, look at Excel. So just come up here and click the Excel tab, and you'll see now I have 43 tutorials and then some examples of actually stuff I've done with it. It's amazing if you connect with Excel what you can do, and it's so easy, especially if you have reports that you do a lot or whatever. It's a really quick, easy way to deal with that. The other one I did was I created a HK Studio page, and on here also I created, I think, 30 tutorials. I have a couple more outlined, some simple stuff I'm going to add in there. And then these were 6 longer, in-depth looks at Studio. Studio is an amazing editor for editing AutoHotkey. I used Site for years. I have a Site page as well, but and you can customize it, but Studio just does a lot more. And once you get used to it, it takes a little bit of a learning curve. But once you get used to it, it really makes you much more productive. I highly, highly recommend it. The other thing I did was I wanted to mention I am in Excel. I'm going to create a AutoHotkey Excel syntax writer for connecting AutoHotkey with COM to Excel, like I have with my AutoHotkey web scraping syntax writer. So I've been paying Maestriath, the author of Studio, to create a tool kind of similar to QAP, but it's different in that it's more streamlined and it's really mostly for snippets, putting in snippets, and so it'll make building GUIs menus much easier. I can't stop my Hangouts thing from ringing, so that'll be over here in a second. But let me see if I can close that. That might help. But so, and then I also plan maybe to write one for writing AutoHotkey code, although that one, it's going to take a lot of thinking through of what to actually include into it and the structure and layout, right? For the most part, it really, I don't think it's as will be as useful as for the one for Excel. And obviously my web scraping syntax writer, and I have a API syntax writer as well, and I'm going to update both of those with the new tool that once I get it, and I can start cranking it out. So so that's how I've been working with that. The other one was I added a couple Fiddler. I think I put them at the beginning here of both. Not this one, the web scraping and APIs, because it's related to it. But I did some cool stuff with Fiddler. One of which, let's see, somewhere here. Yeah, using Fiddler for monitoring network traffic. So both for web scraping and API calls, it's really helpful to understand the traffic's going on behind the scenes. And this, by the way, is Fiddler. I have it. Let's put it to full screen. And I didn't like that. In order to clear this history out, I had to come in here, click somewhere, and then hit Control X. So I wrote a hotkey that if Fiddler exists, so it's not active, but if I hit Control Shift C, it'll go and clear out the traffic. So, and you can still see Hangouts is still running. Great. But anyway, so that was one I added. It's on my site. It's one of, if you go to my homepage, you'll see it's one of the first, these two. So I did one demonstrating Fiddler, and then I demonstrated how to clear the network traffic. This is the little script I wrote. I did change it to be, oh, actually I didn't put it here, but I changed it in my actual script to say if it exists, and then use Control Shift C, because I use Control Shift C for a lot of other reasons. So that was that. So another one I've been doing is I've been automating. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's get rid of Fiddler. Again, I've been automating texting in yet another different tool. This tool, 800 Link, it allows people to call in and listen to a message, and they can choose which message they want to listen to. And then we're going to automate texting people depending on how much of the message they've listened to. And so we're working on the script, and it's going to be very cool because we can say, hey, anyone who's listened more than a minute, let's text them a follow-up of, hey, did you have any questions? And actually, we're going to give them a unique link to track, and then sorry, to watch a video, and then we can track who has clicked the link to the video. So that'll be a nice thing for them to be able to go back and possibly follow up another one saying, hey, if you'd like to schedule an appointment, they link to Calendly, and you can schedule, they can look at the open appointments in the calendar and schedule an appointment. Another one I've been working on is the webinar for next month. This next month is going to be on using the it's both error checking and a little bit into the try catch. So how you can use error checking in your scripts, when you should use it. It's, most of us throw up a message box and that often covers it. But sometimes you want to be able to track, hey, something wasn't here the way I thought it was, and you want to be able to avoid that. So I apparently I get, a lot. I mean, I know I do, but only when I start recording do I get crazy number of phone calls. So anyway, that's for the next month's webinar. By the way, the following month, I've slotted my IP lawyer to come on the webinar and do a brief review of stuff, and then do Q&A to help people understand, especially people like developers like us. It's tailored to people who are developing code and they're worried about IP protection, trademarking, and copywriting, and how can they protect themselves. So it should be. He's a really, really bright guy. His name's Stephen Thrasher. He's local here in Dallas, but he works for other people outside of the region. And super sharp guy, really understands technology. Great stuff. And then actually I've been talking to another author of he's actually the author of this book, which is the How to Sell a Lobster. It's much more of a marketing book, but his follow-up to this book I'm reading right now, and he talks a lot about how the workforce is changing and how it's being more technology savvy and people are being more efficient. And so he has a whole nother book on that topic. Anyway, he's agreed to come on for one of our webinars and talk through, basically things about automation and the workforce, and how to change people's concepts of value, from value being equal to working hard to value to actually being the results you provide, because that's really what customers really care about. They like to know maybe you worked hard, but more often than not, if they can get it for cheaper and it's the same quality and what they wanted, they don't care how you did it, right? And so that's I think an issue in a lot of people's mindsets of that work right now. They think they equate the amount of value to how hard they work, not what they actually produced. Right, it's a very big difference. So it's going to be that one. I haven't scheduled a date for that yet, but I'm looking forward to that one. And we're also still pushing that, trying to recruit for the AutoHotkey convention and sometime in 2020. Here, let me put this up on the screen somewhere. So you can go here, go to my, theautomator.com/AHK_Vegas_convention. I'll put it in the description of this video. But if you have any interest at all at getting together with other AutoHotkey experts and gurus and just people that work in it, right? It should be a lot of fun. We're just right now trying to see how many people we got that be interested. I think about around 30-ish that have said, that they would, more than likely attend. We don't expect huge numbers, but I'd say if we can get a good 30 to 50 to actually really sign, we're not saying sign up for it. We're just saying, hey, do you have interest? And then later we'll have an official sign up. We'll keep the fees as low as we can. The whole goal is just to get everyone together and kind of talk. We'll of course have seminars and speeches and training on various things, which we'll have to work out what makes the most sense, especially depending on who's attending. But I think it's just the networking and I did all those, I think 25 or so in-depth interviews with other AutoHotkey users and experts, and it was really fun to talk to people who have a similar mindset. And I think most people that go to these things, it'd be really fun to talk to other people that you're very similar in how you approach things and how you view life. And of course, I want to be able to learn from a lot of the experts in the area, and it's there's nothing like being there, in person, where you can really do a Q&A back and forth. And I think we'll kind of mix it up. Some is presenting, and then a lot of it is let's actually work on the code. Let's split up into groups and test some stuff, and we'll write some stuff, and then see how we solve the problems differently, because it's very interesting. So anyway, that's mostly what I've been working on. I've got more to do, but it's been fun. So anyway, take care. Bye.